This is the Charvel, my original professional axe. The first one that was really stage ready. The fantastic thing about this beautiful guitar that I still have, I've had it since, man, I think the late 80s, early 90s for sure. So this guitar was played by Daryl Abbott, known as Dimebag Pantera, and got some cool pictures of that. And it was very cool meeting him, and then it was we were opening up for them at Savvy, some water benefit for the Mississippi River. It was one of their off-the-label events. Phil wasn't there, and Dime and the rest of the team tore it up, and he used this Charvel and a Randall half stack, which I don't own anymore. Have one just like it, but this is the original one that Dime played. Funny thing is, I remember Jean Dalton from Buddy Magazine. She suggested to me that I should have him sign the guitar. And I was so cocky back then. Guess he had to be. I didn't have him do that. I regret that. But still love this guitar. My son has been playing it most recently at shows. This guitar here is a very interesting Jackson. Got it from the furry hand man himself, man. The furry hand man, the legend. And very rare Jackson, very thin. It was a predecessor, prototype to the lead series. Cool guitar, and Furry modded the crud out of it. So that became my new standard axe. You know, had the the Charvel on backup. So this guitar right here, this is a BC Rich Warlock. And guess what? It's not my guitar. It's my son's guitar. Jackson Powers played it today for his show with his band Fight Us. They played at Poor David's. They will be playing Curtain Club this coming Saturday, May 27th. But my good neighbor RC, he lent it to us. I was having some issues with the floating tremolo on these other girls. And kind of in desperation, I went to his house and said, hey man, can I borrow the Warlock? And he's like, sure buddy. So he lent it to us, and at first Jackson wasn't sure that he wanted to play it, but once he strapped it on and felt the groove and just feels the just the fun of that BC Rich Warlock design. It's a beautiful guitar, and Jackson looked pretty kick-ass on stage with it. It just, you know, made him look like a different kind of animal, dude. I'm ready for the get him a nice leather jacket and some metal. And over here, my favorite guitar in modern times, bought and given to me by Jimmy Bird. Jimmy Bird, cool-ass cat. Me and him were in the music deal. Me and him were in the call center deal. Very intelligent, music-writing guy. And just one day, we went to a guitar center in, I think, Arlington, and he wanted me to play 7 strings. And guess what? I played, you know, I really couldn't get my head around it at first. I kept reverting back to the Jackson and the Charvel. But ultimately, now that I'm not flipping out, oh my gosh, there's another string, this is literally my favorite guitar to play. It is so fast. The action is so flat and fast. Got some DR handmade. I got to restring those. Those are beat up. And then over there, over yonder, is the Ibanez SR 500. This bass I bought when I played with 7th from Adam. And I got to tell you, I had a budget to go a lot more expensive. I think I picked this one up for like $600. Hey, you can't get more bang for the buck, man. It sounds awesome. The Bertoli onboard active pickups, the wood. I mean, that thing, I slap it. I slap the spit out of it. I wring it out like a dish rag. And then over there is my sorry, you shouldn't even be in there. But anyway, the little Yamaha, that was a bass that I bought when I was moving to Wichita Falls. I wanted to do some home recording and have something to augment, so I picked up a little Yamaha. Not a bad bass, but definitely not something to write home about. And oh, down here is a weird little guitar. It's funny because I found it in here, and here, let me move. Oh, I found it in here. And the funny story with this guitar is that I didn't even know it was here. And then when I found it, I was like, where the heck did this come? So, here's the backstory. Tommy Randall, splendid musician. Usually he plays on the PRS. He bought this as kind of an office guitar, and when he left, he forgot it. And I picked it up when we were moving out of the office suite. And then I promptly, put it in a case and forgot about it. And it languished for several years until my niece Haley picked it up. And I took a picture, and Tommy's like, hey, nice guitar, dude. And so that one's affectionately known as Applejack. And Jackson was playing it, but he's upgraded. And over here is an interesting guitar that we haven't really gotten to yet. This one came from Jackson's grandfather. Need to restring it, do some stuff with the input. Electronics have a little bit of issues, but this is a guitar straight out of Las Vegas. And so we're looking forward to see what that guy does. The Randall 150 watt head, 412 loaded with Celestians. It's a beast. And then on the bass side of it, unfortunately covered with crap, is the 410 Ampeg 410 cabinet with the Ampeg B2R head, which it just sounds sensational. What's really weird is that, this is weird, I kind of try to hide this, but I had this stored in the garage, and freaking rats ate the Tolex. These masks are from the 7th from Adam days. We like to put on a show. It's fun. Just all sorts of memorabilia here. There's a picture of me on the right and Dime in the middle, and Forrest Dobson, one of the best drummers, probably the best drummer I've ever played with. I mean, I played with some good ones, man, so it's hard, but Forrest was extremely talented. Miss that guy. He's out in Colorado as a ski bum. Totally cool stuff. And that concludes the tour. Just one more panning. The old little Yamaha bass. Get a better look at this bass. You can see where, just from slapping the shit out of it. Actually, it's kind of funny. If you get real close. Let's see if I can pick that up. But you can see where the pickups, see right there, the wear on the pickups from the strings. And sorry, it's a little dirty, but yeah, that's a road instrument, Just held up, stayed in tune, great. The 7-string, she's gorgeous. I probably should have cleaned it before I did this shot. Plans on restringing that, hopefully this weekend. Jackson's new main axe, he has bought this from RC Sens. I guess he consulted with his offshore bank accounts, and this kid, straight A kid, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, Dad, I have $600 saved, but my assets aren't liquid. Can you help me out? So I think it's cool. I've always loved BC Rich. I had a Mockingbird back in the day. Then the once again the Jackson, and it's a concept. It's a really weird guitar. Let me see if I can get closer to this for a second. Since now this tour is going way longer than I planned it. But you can see on the headstock, Jackson Concept. I've only seen one other cat in all my jamming that ever had this thing. And it's really thin. I'm not going to get to the side really, but it's really thin when you compare it to like the Charvel, which is more blocky. I don't know if you can see that. Also, the 7-string is super thin. So that's the guitars in the House of Powers. The original, actually for both me and Jackson now. That was the one that we started on, and now we're, moving into other things. But the Charvel, we love it. Got a bunch of restringing to do. Got to tell you, so proud of my son today, playing that gig. It was the first time he really kind of was like, he's playing Breaking the Law, Judas Priest. He's 11 years old, guys, so it's not like he's touring yet. But dang, that was fun. And those two Black Beauties look pretty good together. Y'all have a good one now. Guess what? It's the day before my birthday. Woo!